All right. So we do have to make this one quick because we don't have a lot of space left.
Oh, yeah.
All right, guys. Welcome back to SquirrelTribe Life. We are going to bring you a little bit of a different video today. This is going to be a Reddit reaction. And we're just going to go ahead and jump right into it. This is from Reddit Relationship Advice. I and my wife fight a lot. How do we move on from harmful words? Now, you guys feel free to jump in the comments. Let me know what you think. But it says, for context, I came home from work and the male, 30-year-old male, 34-year-old female. I try to choose certain ages here because oftentimes a lot of these relationship advice threads in the 20s and teens,
Nah.
I can't do it.
Same.
I can't do it.
Same.
But for context, I came home from work with the kids last week while my mother-in-law was home. I called my wife and said, have the kids coming home now? I have the kids coming home now. Did you happen to pick me up a dish when you went to the restaurant? ? She didn't, which was fine. I was simply asking so I could figure out what to eat when I get home. As I walked through the door, I was berated and yelled at for asking a dinner question, and the kids were, of course, just being kids and yelling and screaming, adding to the noise. Once my mother-in-law said, "You need to learn some respect." I knew I was so heated. I needed to walk away before I said something bad. I get the kids in their chairs for dinner and I go upstairs to cool off. And over the next 5 minutes, my wife calls down, "Your son wants you. Come get food now," to get me to come back down. But I'm still not cooled off yet. Now, apologies. I'm trying to read this the way it's written.
Yeah.
And
It's not always the best.
I'll let you pick up.
Says, my wife comes upstairs and yells for me to go downstairs. She calls me names, etc. So I retort with, "You're being a hateful C word that women don't generally enjoy." I've never said this word before to her, and man, did it echo. I regret saying this a lot. It was in the moment, and I'm sorry for it. Ever since we've been in a downward spiral. As expected, I'm sorry, I'm just putting
C word rhymes with, it's 4th and long, and your running game ain't that strong. So we're going to bring in the kicker.
Okay. Last night we got into another argument, and my wife said she needs to talk to her therapist to help her work through the occurrences of me calling her a hateful C word. I sent this morning to my wife. Here's the copy and pasted.
Copied and pasted.
He says, I was mad last night because of what you said. When you said I have to talk to a therapist about it, it made me feel like someone else was in our relationship. After going downstairs, I calmed down and meditated on what you meant. I know you meant that you need to process what happened when I called you a bad name, and I get it. I'm sorry for being mad. When I sent you those articles about signs of a positive or negative, when you move it, I don't know what's happening, positive or negative relationship, I legitimately saw the good outweighing the bad in our relationship. But when you looked at it, you saw the bad outweighing the good. This concerns me because it was meant to show you that our relationship is actually doing okay. But you interpret it as our relationship being bad. I think one of the things on the list of topics to bring up to the therapist is interpretation and perception of the world around you. I can't control anything that goes on in those talks, obviously, and this isn't me trying to control you. I'm bringing up a concern of mine that I've had for a long time. I feel like you perceive the world in a very negative light and always assume the worst. I feel, the feel is in caps. I feel like doing this harms your mental health. Is this actually true? I have no idea, but that's how I feel. I feel we move on from our fighting. Give each other space and time. I personally have a hard time with this because I always want to help. I always want to be up your ass, figuratively speaking. I also don't hold grudges and try to move on as quickly as possible because that's who I am. In my mind, life is too short to be angry, so I'm leaving the ball in your court. It can be as small as saying, throw away, blah, blah, blah. When the kids go to bed, let's look at happy things, or let's watch a show, or sit next to me while I read, or whatever. Until then, my default will be to go into the basement and leave you alone to give you time alone. Don't feel bad for me. I enjoy my time alone too. I usually get lectures done right for the D&D or something of like that I like, whatever.
Dungeons and Dragons, I think.
Yeah, I want to spend more time with you, but I feel like we need to give each other space and time to relax to stop fighting.
So she responds with this. And I feel like you putting the ball entirely into my court is you putting it all on me to fix things between us. And if you don't want me to see therapists anymore, I won't. I'm starting to see no point in it because you told me you aren't seeing progress. So why keep doing something that's yielded no results? It's a waste of time that I could spend cooking or doing things at the house. I saw those articles you sent as your way of blaming me for everything wrong in our relationship because the things that are wrong are my faults and the good shit is based on your actions and characteristics. That's how I saw it. That this is what's wrong and it's you, so fix it. You've historically told me over and over and over what's wrong with me and that I need to fix it. So I'm stuck in a rut where I'm the chronic F up and no, I can't just change who I am so I don't fit with our family. The only solution I can see is that if I can't change who I inherently am and if I'm bad for the family, cut me out like a cancer. That's why I offer you separation or divorce as a viable option because I legitimately don't know what I can do at this point. And you wanting space and time reinforces this viewpoint. You agree on separating, but you're afraid to use the word. And that's the wife's response, right?
Yeah.
And again, you telling me what to talk to therapist about and how my perception of everything is wrong, it's you telling me even more what's wrong with me. So is it even any wonder that I see everything in a negative light and I see the bad instead of the good when I'm always being told how bad/wrong I am? If we're talking about how we feel, I feel that I'm Pavlov's dog to the point that whenever you show me something that can be negative, I see it that you're telling me that I am this bad or negative thing. I don't know what to do. I legit thought I was doing the right thing, but obviously am not. There's a lot to unpack there. There's a lot to unpack there. There's also a lot we don't know.
Yeah, I don't understand why the mother-in-law saying anything. Like, why is that important? And then he asked her if she got him food while she was at a restaurant. Like, if I went out to lunch with my mom, it wouldn't occur to me to bring home something for you for dinner that night. Like,
unless that's what they always do.
Unless it's what they always do, or unless they're already in a fight, and he asked that question because he knew she wasn't going to bring him something because they're fighting. Like,
here's the other thing, is that a lot of people oftentimes remember things differently than how they actually happened. And with the lack of supporting information and just kind of like randomly stating all of the negatives, maybe he's the type of person that kind of glosses over a lot of the important details and he truly only focuses on the negative.
That's also possible. Or they're both just seeing it from two completely different points of view and not understanding each other person's point of view. He could legitimately be thinking he's telling her these things as a way of helping, and she's only seeing it as a way of being negative because she feels like that's his way of saying negative things about her. Whereas he thinks he's helping, she sees it as detrimental.
But if she offers divorce and separation, is there any reason to have any other conversation? Because why else would you offer that?
I feel the second you offer a separation or a divorce, there's big underlying issues that maybe they should both be going to a therapist together as opposed to only her going.
But how do you vet the therapist?
That part I have.
Because you got to realize that the therapist realizes they know that the more often you come to see them, the better it is for them.
Yeah, obviously.
You know, you said there's no money in the cure.
No. I don't know. All I know is this: if you were to ever, which you wouldn't, but if you were to ever to call me the hateful C word, that means that feeling for me has been there in your mind and in your head, and it's not an accident. You don't accidentally call your wife something horrific like that and it'd be like, oops, my bad. No, that's a word that you've been tumbling around in your brain for quite a while.
No, you say it intentionally to be extremely hurtful. As hurtful as possible.
And if you want to be that hurtful, then obviously you have issues with your wife.
Yeah.
If you want to hurt her that bad.
Yeah.
Because she didn't bring you dinner.
Is it because she didn't bring dinner, or is it because her mother-in-law said something, or is it because she yelled at him from downstairs? Is it because the kids were yelling and that kind of threw him off? Is it... It doesn't sound like the healthiest of relationships, no matter what.
Yeah.
In my opinion. I'm not sitting here saying that they should break up and divorce and separate, but based on the information that was shared here, as you put this out into the public for Reddit to decide, as you're in the relationship advice subreddit, to me, it just seems like this is unhealthy, regardless. And if you want, you can pay me to be your therapist, and I can see you every week and tell you the same thing every week, that, you know, this is unhealthy, but y'all just continue on with this fighting and bickering. one wanting to see it one way, the other one seeing it as it is all their fault. But where's the solution?
The solution, in my opinion, the solution is to not be together. Like, there's no reason why your relationship, your marriage should be that. Like, there's plenty of people out there that you can love and not fight with like that.
Now, he says that, I'll come home and I'll retreat to the basement, to my dungeon, man cave, maybe. I don't know. But it doesn't sound like fun.
No.
It sounds like he has to. It's a chore, right?
He's giving himself self-punishment.
And then, if she wants to, then she can, come find him, come get him or whatever.
Well, why doesn't he go to her first before he goes down there?
True. But I also know that generations ago, that was kind of like a norm.
Yeah.
Like, you were married, but you didn't really spend time together.
Well, because
in the same house.
Well, that's when it was because you were supposed to get married. Girls are supposed to marry guys. Guys are supposed to have a wife to cook for them, clean for them while they went to work. They were supposed to pop out the babies, take care of the family. It's a little different now. There's still people who want that same roles and whatever, but it's a little different now. But for him to say, I'm going to go downstairs and it's up to you to come say something, he's putting it all on her to either end the fight or continue it. And that takes him out of being responsible for any of it. So if things don't work out, he goes, well, I told you where I was and you didn't come down and see me. As opposed to, well, I came home and instead of coming to see you, I went straight to the basement. You know what I mean? So it's just a way for him to take no responsibility, in my opinion.
You're absolutely right. But then it also seems like one of them is going to have to step up to be bigger if either one of them wants it to work. And if neither one of them wants to step up to be bigger, then they're screwed.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Hey, guys, we appreciate you watching. Please smash the like button and make sure you drop a comment down below. We want to know what you guys thought about that. And more importantly, we are going to continue to have more of these conversations and discussions on this channel, but also on Patreon as well. But the Patreon content, those topics and discussions and conversations will probably be more of an adult level. Mm-hmm. So if you're interested in those, and by all means, click the link in the description down below, and we'll see you guys real soon.
Bye.